Snikt. You hear that sound, right? That iconic S and I.
Instantly recognizable.
Exactly. And it just brings up this image, doesn't it? Gruff guy, leather jacket, those eyes.
Yeah.
And of course, the claws.
Unforgettable. Adamantium claws.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are plunging right in, claws first, maybe, into the really remarkable journey of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. We're talking nearly 2 decades.
An incredible run.
And this isn't just, actor plays superhero. This is about how one guy became completely synonymous with the character.
Totally fused.
Yeah. He took this beloved comic hero and somehow made him this global cultural phenomenon way beyond the comic page.
Absolutely. Reached everyone.
So our mission today, we're going to unpack it all. The performance nuances, the sheer physical dedication, the emotional weight, and really look at the marquee laugh, not just on superhero movies, which is huge in itself, but like on pop culture overall.
It's a significant legacy to explore.
What do you really stop and think about it? The endurance. 9 films.
9. Over almost 20 years.
Playing the same character with that level of consistency, that depth, I mean, in the world of blockbuster filmmaking, that's kind of mind-boggling.
It really is unprecedented.
Yeah.
Especially for a superhero role. You just don't see that.
It points to something pretty special happening there, doesn't it?
Indeed. And what's really remarkable, as you say, is how rare that is. In Hollywood, that sustained embodiment, it almost never happens.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing for an actor to really define a character for a generation, right?
Yeah.
But it's something else entirely to like lift up the whole genre while you're doing it.
Yeah, elevating the whole thing.
We're looking at this unique alchemy, this blend of just raw, almost animal power.
Yeah. The berserker rage.
Exactly. But then combined with this deep, almost heartbreaking vulnerability.
Yeah.
And, for a long time, people thought, well, comic book movies, they can't really do that kind of character depth. It's just fantasy.
Right, it's action and spectacle.
But Jackman, he didn't just show it was possible. He basically set a whole new standard, changed expectations for what these stories could be.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Especially if, maybe you're a bit younger listening to this, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. It's almost impossible to picture anyone else.
He absolutely defined him for that era.
But what if I told you, before the claws, before the growling, he was actually like singing and dancing on stage, known more for, his Broadway chops than his feral snarl.
It does sound surprising if you only know him as Logan.
So our journey into Jackman's Wolverine actually starts, kind of unexpectedly, with Hugh Michael Jackman himself, born October 12, 1968, Sydney, Australia.
Right.
And his early career, this might genuinely surprise people who only see Logan. It was all about the stage.
It was a very different world from mutant powers.
Totally. He wasn't just like trying to act. He was accomplished, versatile. We're talking stage musicals, dramas. The guy could act, sing, and dance.
Triple threat.
Yeah. His resume before X-Men had stuff like lead roles in Beauty and the Beast in Australia, Sunset Boulevard.
Wow, proper musical theater background.
Exactly. That kind of background, the discipline of stage work, connecting with an audience live, digging into character emotion, it actually gave him this unique foundation for what came next, for this really physical, really emotional role.
And that versatility, that stagecraft is so, so crucial when you think about casting Wolverine back in the late 90s for the first X-Men movie.
Right, because it was a big deal, that franchise kicking off.
Huge deal. And finding Wolverine, it wasn't just about finding someone who looked tough, or could wear the leather jacket.
No.
The role demanded, well, both things. That primal ferocity, that raw, almost animal instinct, but also this incredibly complex, damaged emotional core.
So how do you find an actor who can be both? An animalistic fighter and this tortured soul.
Exactly. Someone wrestling with this dark past he can't even remember.
Yeah.
But who's also capable of loyalty and even, like, tenderness sometimes. And that dry humor.
It's a paradox, right?
It really is. You needed someone who could navigate all those extremes and make it feel real, authentic.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting for me, because I remember the buzz around this. Jackman, he's tall. Like 6'2".
Yeah, noticeably taller than the comic version.
Right. Comic book fans, the purists, knew Logan as this short, stocky guy, like 5'3", 5'4", maybe.
That was the classic image, definitely.
So when the casting news dropped, there was this collective gasp. I remember thinking, wait, he's way too tall. This isn't right. A lot of skepticism.
Oh, absolutely. Fan skepticism is almost a tradition with big comic roles.
So despite that pretty obvious physical difference, he got the part. What was it about Jackman that let him just smash through those objections? How did he capture Wolverine so well?
Well, this really hits on a vital point about adaptation, doesn't it? When does the actor's presence, their ability to convey the character's humanity, become more important than matching the physical description exactly?
Yeah, essence over exact appearance.
Jackman's casting proved it,
Hmm.
pretty much unequivocally. The spirit of the character, their inner life, their struggles, that's what connects with an audience, way more than just being a perfect visual match.
So what did Singer see?
Bryan Singer, the director, apparently saw something in Jackman's audition. It went beyond height. He saw the intensity, the fire, but crucially, he saw the capacity for that deep pain and vulnerability underneath the
The
anger.
raw energy.
Exactly. And his performance, it silenced the critics almost immediately. Like, from his first moments on screen, people had to rethink everything.
Yeah, you just bought it.
He completely redefined Wolverine for a whole new generation,
Mm.
proving that a really compelling performance makes you forget all your preconceived notions. You just get lost in that version.
That debut in X-Men, 2000, Bryan Singer directing. It was something else.
Memorable entrance.
From that very first scene, the cage fight, you just felt it. That raw intensity simmering right there.
Authenticity.
Yeah. And he balanced it perfectly. The animal rage, the snarl, the claws popping, but then also this deep sense of inner pain, loneliness. It just hit hard.
You saw the fighter, but you saw the damaged soul right away.
It was that duality, right? Instantly captivating.
And if we zoom out a bit, look at superhero movies back then. Wolverine was never just the muscle, was he?
No, not at all.
Jackman brought this deeply conflicted anti-hero to life, always wrestling with his fragmented past, this awful burden of immortality.
Yeah, living forever but losing everyone.
Right, and just trying to figure out his own humanity in a world that often just saw him as a weapon.
That internal struggle. That's what made him relatable, wasn't it? Despite the claws and the healing factor.
Absolutely. He made this mutant character feel incredibly viscerally human. It wasn't just spectacle. It was a character study right from the start.
And okay, let's talk about the physical side because,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, yeah, the transformation was huge.
Jackman didn't just, put on the costume. He sculpted this physique that basically became the template for superhero actors.
He set the bar incredibly high.
We've seen so many actors try to match that dedication since. For someone coming from theater, what did that actually involve? I've read about the crazy diets, the dehydration.
It was legendary. And yeah, it set a new standard. He went through these intense bulking and shredding cycles, eating like up to 6,000 calories a day.
Wow.
Mostly lean protein, complex carbs, and training like crazy. Multiple hours, often starting before dawn.
But it wasn't just about getting huge, right? It was about how he moved.
Exactly. It wasn't just bodybuilding. His trainers focused on compound movements,
Yeah.
functional strength, agility. So he could do those low animalistic stances, those explosive fight moves, that feral quality.
He studied animals, didn't he? Wolves.
Yeah, wolves, wolverines, to get that primal feel. And the dehydration before shirtless scenes. Sure, it made muscles pop, but he said he used that physical discomfort.
How so?
He channeled the hunger, the exhaustion, the aches and pains from training, used it to fuel Wolverine's constant simmering rage, his underlying pain, his feeling of being uncomfortable in his own skin.
So it was like method acting.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
A deep physical embodiment. It made the performance feel lived in, real, in every growl, every fight.
Yeah.
And he took risks, got injured, torn muscles, I think even a ruptured eardrum once.
Ouch.
But he pushed through. You could see the physical toll, and it just made Wolverine feel grittier, more raw.
But beyond the muscles, the physical stuff, the real magic, I think, was the emotional core.
Agreed. That was the key.
He had this amazing ability, almost paradoxical, to show this tough, hard shell. But you always saw the vulnerability underneath, those bursts of violence, yeah, but then these quiet moments of, like, unexpected tenderness. Thinking about him with Rogue in the first film.
Or later with Laura and Logan.
Exactly, or even his whole conflicted thing with Jean Grey.
And what's really fascinating is the emotional homework he did. Even for a character like this.
Right, digging into the trauma.
He really explored Wolverine's trauma. Losing people over centuries, the sheer burden of immortality, the constant search for meaning, for belonging in a world that feared him.
How do you even research that? Immortality.
Well, you ground it in universal human stuff, right? Pain, loss, longing for connection, struggling with who you are. He tapped into those fundamental feelings.
And you saw it in the performance.
Definitely. Through his voice, the growl, yes, but also those quiet, weary moments. His body language often hunched, wary, and his face, you could just see the internal battle. Every look, every twitch meant something.
And this wasn't just like one great performance in one film. We watched this character evolve over 9
Look
movies.
is just incredibly rare.
He starts as this loner, this mystery man with
But
amnesia.
desperate to figure out his past.
And he slowly becomes this complex, multidimensional hero, grappling with bigger moral questions. His whole arc explores these huge themes. Identity,
Plot,
heavenly,
sacrifice.
all of it.
And that long, sustained arc, it's almost unheard of in blockbuster filmmaking. It gives us so much to analyze, to really deep dive into how a character changes over nearly 2 decades on screen.
It's like a masterclass in long-form character development.
Especially in a genre often criticized, maybe unfairly, for lacking that kind of depth. We saw Logan endure, adapt, constantly question what being a hero even means.
Okay, let's break it down a bit, film by film, starting right at the beginning. X-Men, 2000. Our intro to Wolverine. Complex, amnesia, dark past.
An enigma.
Yeah.
And that first film was so crucial, it established his core struggle. The search for identity, that famous line, "I'm the best there is at what I do."
But what I do isn't very nice. Perfect summary.
Exactly. He's defined by a past he can't recall, haunted by these flashes. That basic question, who am I? It just resonated. And it set the foundation for everything that followed. Every revelation, every emotional beat later on connects back to that initial search.
Then X2, X-Men United in 2003. That gave us a deeper look, right?
Yeah.
Hints about Weapon X.
More concrete clues, yeah. The Alkali Lake sequence.
And we saw him grappling more with his own violence, but also being protective of this new family he'd found.
That sequel really started peeling back the layers. We saw glimpses of the torture he endured with Stryker, his protectiveness towards Jean, towards Rogue, even while battling his own nature. It showed his humanity growing.
The internal conflict became just as important as the fights.
Absolutely. It was about his struggle to reconcile the animal inside with this growing empathy, this sense of responsibility. It explored sacrifice, identity on a bigger stage. You saw Logan finding a place even as his past clawed at him.
Okay, X-Men, The Last Stand, 2006. A bit divisive, maybe.
Definitely divisive among fans.
But Wolverine kind of emerges as the reluctant leader, doesn't he? Fighting against the mutant cure, holding things together as everything falls apart.
Yeah, his loyalty gets pushed to the absolute limit. It really showcased his fierce determination, especially facing huge personal loss, moral gray areas.
He never really wanted to lead, did he?
No, but he stepped up. His commitment to the X-Men, his found family, was unwavering. And that incredibly difficult, heartbreaking decision he has to make about Jean.
Oh, yeah. Gut-wrenching.
It just underlined his capacity for immense sacrifice.
Yeah.
His deep, often unspoken love. He became the anchor when their world was breaking.
Then 2009, X-Men Origins. Wolverine, his first solo movie.
The origin story.
Diving into his early life, Weapon X, his relationship with Sabretooth.
Yeah, that film. Look, it had its issues. Critics and fans were definitely divided. Some narrative challenges there.
Agreed.
But you can't deny it provided crucial backstory. It fleshed out where he came from, the early trauma, that incredibly complex, violent bond with Victor Creed.
It gave context, even if the execution wasn't perfect.
Exactly. It gave context for his later lone wolf tendencies, his distrust, showed the foundations of his tortured existence, added pieces to the puzzle, even if not everyone loved the final picture.
Then the Wolverine in 2013 felt like a big shift.
Oh, huge shift. James Mangold directing.
Much more introspective, vulnerable, Logan dealing with mortality, seeking redemption in Japan. It felt different.
It was pivotal. Mangold deliberately stripped away a lot of the usual superhero stuff. Put Logan in this foreign setting, isolated, grieving Jean Grey.
Showed him at his lowest point.
Yeah, questioning his immortality. Even losing his healing factor for a while. Facing real consequences. He was tired, vulnerable, questioning his purpose. It made him incredibly human. A really crucial step in showing the toll his long life had taken.
Then X-Men. Days of Future Past in 2014. Wolverine becomes the key, right? The guy sent back in time.
The linchpin. The only one who could bridge the past and future like that.
Traveling back to unite the younger mutants, prevent this horrible future. He's the anchor again.
He really is the constant, the essential piece. Able to make that huge personal sacrifice for the greater good. His journey through time just highlighted his unique position, his ability to endure and connect different eras.
His strength and stubbornness made him perfect for it.
Exactly. Showed his essential role as the heart, maybe the reluctant moral compass of the whole X-Men universe. It was a clever narrative device that really centered him.
And then 2017, Logan.
Logan,
Wow.
just a landmark film. Critically acclaimed, emotionally devastating, the swan song.
Yeah.
An aged, weary Wolverine facing the end, protecting Laura in this bleak future. Brutal, but beautiful.
It's widely seen as a masterpiece, not just for superheroes, but as cinema. An unflinching look at aging, legacy, mortality, the real cost of a violent life.
It felt like a Western, or noir,
Yeah.
or a road movie.
All of the above. Mangold blended those elements seamlessly with the superhero core. And what was so brave, so fascinating, was showing the hero in decline.
Yeah, broken, scarred, his powers failing him.
You saw it, the limp, the scars that didn't heal fast, the struggle. It wasn't just talked about, it was visceral. That vulnerability,
Yeah.
it made his final stand, his last act of protection, just incredibly poignant and powerful.
So profoundly humanizing.
It really raised the bar, asking, can a superhero film be a deep character study about decline and legacy? Logan screamed yes.
So the impact of Jackman's Wolverine, it went way beyond just comic fans, didn't it? He
Yeah.
became this global thing. Absolutely. It transcended the niche. Everyone knew Wolverine. The claws, the hair, the attitude, instantly recognizable worldwide.
Why do you think that happened? How did this violent anti-hero get so huge?
I think it comes back to that humanization we talked about. Jackman's performance showed these characters could be flawed, contradictory, full of baggage, just like real people.
Yeah.
You know, he made a traditionally tough lone wolf character, incredibly relatable, sympathetic even to a massive audience. He showed that depth could actually broaden the appeal, not limit it. He wasn't just a cool drawing anymore. He was a complex person.
And you can see his influence everywhere now. Other actors, other filmmakers trying to find that balance, the brutality, but also the nuance, the heart.
For sure. He basically created the blueprint for the modern conflicted hero. The guy doing bad things for good reasons, wrestling with his inner darkness, but driven by this fierce protective code.
Like a template.
Yeah. Think about interpretations of Batman since then. The Punisher, even Deadpool in his own way. They all owe something to the path Logan cleared, proving audiences wanted that complexity.
And the cultural reach, it was insane. Merchandise everywhere.
T-shirts, action figures, mugs.
Video games, cartoons. An entire fan culture built around his Wolverine. The look, the attitude.
And beyond just being popular, he became this symbol, didn't he?
How so?
People connect with his resilience, his fierce loyalty, even when he's gruff about it, his determination, his messy morality. It reflects struggles people understand, even without the superpowers.
That ability to endure pain, keep going.
Exactly. The search for identity, for family. He represented strength, sure, but also a relatable vulnerability.
Which probably explains why even after Logan seemed like the definitive end.
People wanted him back.
Yeah. The fan campaigns, the petitions, bring back Hugh, and the explosion when the Deadpool 3 news hit.
That reaction tells you everything. It underscores that profound connection he built. It wasn't just liking a character, it felt like his character. Irreplaceable.
A rare bond between actor, character, and audience.
Truly rare. It showed his portrayal was more than a performance. It was a phenomenon.
So how did he do it? Maintain that for so long? We know he approached it meticulously. Physical prep, emotional research, full immersion.
It was a complete commitment.
Physically, we talked about the training, not just bulk, but that agility, that stamina to capture Wolverine's fighting style, embodying the weapon.
And embracing the risks, the injuries. He didn't phone it in. He studied animal movements, like we said, wolves, wolverines, to get that primal edge.
Yeah.
Made the fights feel raw, not choreographed.
You felt the effort, the toll.
And that commitment, it's more than just acting. It's sinking into the character's being, letting Logan's pain, his ferocity, become part of his own physical state.
Which comes through in the performance.
Absolutely. In the voice that growl, the clip delivery, but also the quiet moments. The body language wary, coiled. The face expressing that constant internal war. Every little detail spoke volumes. It felt like a force of nature.
But he didn't do it alone. These huge runs always involve key collaborations, right?
Oh, definitely. Team effort in many ways.
First off, Bryan Singer. Directing the first X-Men films, he set that gritty, grounded tone.
Singer's initial vision was vital, grounding the fantasy in a relatable reality. Made Wolverine's struggles feel tangible. He aimed for drama, not just comic book flash, which let Jackman build from emotional truth. Singer saw the tortured soul first.
And then James Mangold. The Wolverine, and especially Logan. He really pushed the character into mature, bolder territory, crafted that powerful farewell.
Mangold brought this incredible artistic vision. allowed for that deeper, introspective exploration the character needed later on. He wasn't afraid to strip away the superhero gloss, focus on the raw humanity.
That courage let Jackman do his best work, arguably.
I'd agree. Mangled blending genres, Western, noir, road movie, was revolutionary for the genre. Gave Jackman space to explore aging, regret, legacy with such depth. He truly got the character's soul.
Now you have to talk about the co-stars. The chemistry. That dynamic with Patrick Stewart as Professor X, almost father-son.
One of the absolute emotional cores of the franchise. Their scenes together were often the most powerful, most introspective. Gave Logan guidance, family, and intellectual foil.
And the rivalry with Ian McKellen's Magneto. Complex.
Added another layer.
Yeah.
And then later that fierce, moving bond with Daphne Keane as Laura X-23 in Logan.
Just incredible.
Masterful evolution for his character. Showed his capacity for that fierce, unconditional love and sacrifice. Turned the lone wolf into this weary protector. These relationships built a believable world around him, cracked open that gruff exterior.
So wrapping it all up, where does this leave Jackman's Wolverine? It feels safe to say he's regarded as one of the all-time great superhero portrayals.
Easily. Right up there. He didn't just play Logan. He embodied him. Became him.
And thinking bigger picture, his performance was pivotal for the whole genre, wasn't it?
Absolutely pivotal. Helped elevate comic book movies from just escapism to serious cinematic storytelling. Proved they could deliver deep character studies, emotional weight, tackle complex themes usually reserved for dramas. He set a standard that still echoes.
And that Guinness World Record. Longest career as a live-action Marvel hero.
Astonishing fact. Almost 20 years.
Nobody else is even close.
And it's not just a trivia point. It speaks volumes about sustained excellence, unwavering dedication, and that deep, lasting connection with audiences. It's unprecedented, reflects trust from filmmakers, love from fans, the definitive Wolverine.
And Logan, 2017, we keep coming back to it. Not just a great superhero movie, but a masterpiece.
Genre-defining. That blend of Western, noir, road movie with the superhero stuff. It allowed for that profound look at aging, legacy, mortality.
It answered that question, didn't it? Can a superhero film transcend the genre?
Unequivocally. Logan proved it could be a powerful character study, hitting universal truths, set a benchmark for prioritizing character and emotion, show the power in a hero's decline.
And his influence lives on, right? Even with potential recasting down the line.
For sure. His Wolverine-inspired cartoons, video games, influences how Marvel handled mutants even now.
He set the bar.
He absolutely set the benchmark. Any future interpretation will be measured against Jackman's standard. His portrayal is the foundational text for modern Wolverine. Its power endures.
Now, it's easy to just focus on the claws, the rage. But let's talk about Hugh Jackman, the man. He often talks about how playing Wolverine changed him.
Yeah, beyond just fame and fortune.
He says it brought personal growth, taught him about vulnerability, resilience, the power of telling these kinds of stories.
It clearly shaped him as an artist, as a person, just as much as he shaped the character. He connected deeply with themes of acceptance, self-control, finding your place.
And he's always expressed so much gratitude to the fans, hasn't he? For the whole journey, it felt personal for him.
Absolutely. It wasn't just a job for him. It was clearly a huge part of his life, this symbiotic thing between actor and character.
You just don't see that kind of deep, authentic connection very often.
It's incredibly rare. And that genuineness, that affection for the character, it just cemented his legacy. Audiences felt it, and it solidified their bond with his Wolverine.
And while Wolverine made him a global superstar, we have to remember he's done so much else. He's incredibly versatile.
Oh, absolutely. Far more than just one role.
Think about Les Miserables. That raw performance as Jean Valjean got the Oscar nomination.
Phenomenal performance. Singing, acting, the emotion.
Or Prisoners. That dark, chilling turn as the desperate father. So intense.
Showed incredible dramatic range. Tormented.
And The Prestige. Alongside Christian Bale, that complex thriller, playing the obsessed magician.
Right. These roles are miles away from Logan. Showcases his depth.
His ability to nail drama, nail musicals, nail action.
Yeah, it's amazing. He excels as a dramatic actor, a powerful singer, and has the physical presence. One of Hollywood's most dynamic talents. Proves you can embody an icon for decades and still be so much more. A true performer.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, it's crystal clear, isn't it? Hugh Jackman's blend of raw power, deep emotion, sheer dedication. It didn't just make Wolverine a beloved icon from a cult comic character.
No, he fundamentally reinvented what a superhero could be on screen.
His portrayal is going to remain the benchmark for superhero movies, a testament to character-driven storytelling in a world full of spectacle.
And connecting it bigger picture, it proves that real heroism on screen often comes from the humanity, the conflict, the vulnerability inside the character, not just the powers.
It's about the heart.
And Jackman showed us Wolverine's enduring, beating heart.
So, as you think about cinematic characters, especially superheroes, here's a final thought for you. What other performances out there do you think achieve that same kind of perfect, lasting blend? That raw power matched with profound human vulnerability, setting a standard for generations.
Something to chew on.
Definitely something to mull over until our next deep dive.